This is Portlock, my Sailing OneChunk Ironman, where we are navigating the newly opened up seas of Gillinor, one chunk at a time. Starting, of course, at the sailing island itself, the Pandemonium. Last time, we were able to acquire the last few things we needed in our chunks, as well as make it all the way to level 80 cooking, to cook a raw shark. We then rolled a few new chunks, only to get stuck on one where we needed to retrieve an echo pearl by, taking care of some dolphins? Welcome aboard to Portlock. Alright, welcome back everyone to Portlock, episode 6. I think 6. We're picking up right where we left off. We got our new chunks. We unlocked a couple of new chunks last episode. I believe it was, this one? Did I never unlock this one? I never unlocked that one. But that one, and this one, and this one. And we are currently trying to take out some dolphins for an echo pearl. We already got we've gotten everything else from dolphins, including the gnome balls. We've actually gotten 16 of those. And we are just looking for the echo pearl, which is 1 in 927 drop. 1 in 927 drop, give or take, from dolphins. So we're hunting for that. That is the only thing I think we need in this chunk. And then we can move on to other chunks. We'll have an early chunk rolling situation here for us. Dolphins are actually really nice. They can't damage my ship. I've killed 1,029 of them. This will be 1,030. And they haven't done a single damage. And they also, all of their drops are also, for the most part, stackable. And they also drop a good amount of cannonballs. Like, these 547 iron cannonballs are just from them. And we've gotten another 5,000 bronze cannonballs. So we can just spend a whole lot of time here just taking them down. So we've gotten 316 flax seeds so far. Dolphins have like the highest drop rate of flax seeds. They're tied for, it looks like they're tied for the most common at 1 in 12.5 with albatrosses, but they drop between 3 and 5 flax seeds each time. Whereas everything else, most other things only drop 1, handful of things drop between 1 and 3. So this is actually a great way to get flax seeds. But in order to use them, we'll need a hops patch, I believe? Yeah, hops patch. Which the closest one to us is probably over here on Entrana. This patch. There's another one, I think, over here. Are there any other close ones to us? No. Those are really the only two that are anywhere close to us. Hopefully we can get one of those. We'll definitely need it for flax. We can get otherwise, but hemp and cotton, we have to get to one of those patches. Or before we can get any, at least for the time being. Let's see. We have 792 seaweed, which I guess we can make into soda ash, though we can also just buy that from charter ship traders. 20,000 water runes, which, we have a water battle staff, so by the time we are able to actually use any of those, we'll just be able to use the water battle staff, and that's our best in slot magic anyways. Elkhorn frags, that'll be a while before we can use those. The swamp paste is really nice, because we use that to make repair kits, and so just having that and not having to buy it. Oh, another gnome ball. That's our 17th one, but yeah, we're just looking for that echo pearl. Hopefully it won't take too much longer, but who knows? We might go 2 or 3 times dry on these guys. So, might be done in 5 minutes, might be hours yet to go. We'll have to see. but I'll be back when something interesting happens. Came back to shore so that I could spawn a random event. Got a Evil Bob Prison Pete random event. Didn't even know you can get lamps from that, but did get one. And gonna put that in Hunter for 14 Hunter. Alright, 7 levels left before we can finally hunt those crabs over there. Let's see, that's, yeah, I think that's around about 17 lamps left. Cool. The Echo Pearl. Inspect. The pearl yearns for the sea. As you hold it, you hear the sound of fish swimming. You reckon it might be useful for shipbuilding. Neat. Examine it. Glowing pearl, you stare into it, you can hear the sound of the ocean. It's worth 115,000 coins on the G. Neat. Yeah. That was 1,129 dolphins. Not too shabby. We went a little over drop rate, but nothing crazy. I am going to head back to shore just to drop everything off, but 1,129 dolphins. We got 4,384 swamp paste, 22,500 water runes, 5,500 iron cannonballs, 5,200 bronze cannonballs, 356 flax seeds, 864 seaweed, 17 elkhorn frags. We got 19 easy clues, which isn't too bad. 20 gnome balls. That's fun. Let's see, yeah, 20 gnome balls. Sure. Why the hell not? I'm betting that's like, because dolphins have a thing about like beach balls, like passing beach balls back and forth or something. That's almost certainly a reference to that. And we have 7,000 iron cannonballs. At some point, we'll probably end up using those. 1,800 steel cannonballs, which we got from bull sharks. Which we can't use. We need at least a steel cannon to do that. Although that's also, and we're a ways away from it. Steel cannonballs, I believe, are also the dwarf cannon. Yeah, we'd have to get all the way over here, so that'll be a while. But we can use, but the steel cannonballs are what are used for the dwarf cannon. I don't believe you can use any of the other cannonballs. Which is kind of unfortunate. It would be pretty cool to be able to. Anyways. Echo Pearl, which is different from all of these other pearls. Though it looks pretty similar. Has a bit harsher shadow. Otherwise, I guess with that, let's jump back into the chunk picker. And see what our next chunks are. Because that was everything we needed from the dolphins. Awesome. This is how our chunk map is looking. To review, so we have 6 chunks that are immediately available to us to roll. We have this chunk down here, which would require a couple of pretty big grinds, including a 91 cooking grind to be able to cook a marlin, which would require us basically to do the same cooking grind we've already done twice more. Over here, we have the Chrome to Volcano, which is a terrifying chunk, seeing as I've never successfully gotten a fire cape before. despite having tried really only a handful of times. But that chunk scares me, not just because of the fire cape, but because of a bunch of other stuff that I know is in that chunk. This chunk up here is kind of a light warning, because if we get chunk 6 and then roll this chunk, we'll then have access to the Asgardian Ice Dungeon. Just rolling chunk 6 would only give us access to this port here, not the dungeon, which is over here somewhere. Of course, we can also get there through, like, Remington, which would be bad, because then we don't have access to this magic shop. We have a couple of chunks that would give us sailing upgrades. This for the Swamp Tar for hulls. These 2 chunks for a loom and spinning wheel that would allow us to get a mast and sail upgrade. Getting that upgrade would then allow us to be able to do stuff in this stormy area. I don't think I really have anything in the 1 chunk of that I have unlocked. But that would open up more stuff within here. And also would open up this port for Tempros. Additionally, I added this chunk. I realized that chunk also poses a problem. Remington has a house portal here. The way I'm going to be handling construction grinds, apart from what's needed for building a ship, is that we need access to a house portal before we need to do anything. Once we have access to a house portal, we'll then need to grind construction to the highest level, to the highest level furniture or room that we have available to us, which I believe will be the bone cage, which is probably something that very few people have ever built. But it requires 85 construction, and all that you need to build it is 10 oak planks and 10 bones, all of which we have access to. So that'll be a massive grind if we end up rolling Remington itself. Remington also has a shooting star location. I don't think I've mentioned this. I'm not including shooting stars in anything I'm doing, so that's not a problem. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much all of our close chunks, at least. The chunk picker has been extraordinarily nice to us so far. So I'm getting more and more nervous with each chunk roll, waiting for something to go wrong. Let's see what it has in store for us. Oh god. Oh, damn. Okay, that is awesome. The chunk picker continues to be nice to us.
For now.
That is awesome. Love that. That was, I guess I didn't rank the chunks that I wanted, but that was, I think, the chunk I wanted most out of anything. So that gives us access to the port. Because it's only this port, we'll need to do a cargo delivery task. I guess both ways. I haven't really planned on how I'm doing the cargo delivery tasks. I might change this in the future, but how I think I'm going to do it is that I have to deliver cargo to and from every port that we have available to us. So I have these 2 ports now, Port Sarim and the Pandemonium. I believe I have access to the cargo stations in Port Sarim. So I'll need to deliver cargo from the Pandemonium to Port Sarim and from Port Sarim to the Pandemonium. If I end up unlocking Musa Point, we'll need to do a cargo delivery from Musa Point to Port Sarim, Musa Point to the Pandemonium, and vice versa, from the Pandemonium to Musa Point, and from Port Sarim to Musa Point. It shouldn't be a big deal to do that, but if it becomes a hassle to do so, may end up reworking that. But for the time being, that's what I'm going to do. And so, I think that's my only task. I need to deliver cargo from the Pandemonium to Port Sarim and Port Sarim to the Pandemonium. There shouldn't be... Okay. So, yeah. I can access that dock. And that's it. Save. Okay. Okay. Where Tyrus Helm, already did this. Best in Slot, already did that. Trunk Picker still hasn't been updated to sailing tasks. Not a surprise. But let's jump back into the game and check out our new chunk. Before we set off into our new chunks, I do want to check the notice board here to see if there's... This might be a little bit of a problem with my plan. But if this doesn't have a Port Sarim cargo bounty or cargo task, might be SOL on that, at least until it refreshes or I get it to refresh, which I guess plays into the challenge a bit, is that might need to refresh in a handful of times before we can actually complete our task. Not super worried about it. But if this doesn't have a bounty, I don't remember if I can access the notice board in Port Sarim. We'll have to check that out. I believe the cargo port tasks can have either take cargo from this location to somewhere else, or take cargo from another location to here. And so, if we can access the notice board in Port Sarim, we'll have two ways to do that. If we can't, we might have to search this notice board for both. But let's see. Is this Port Sarim? Port Sarim jewelry delivery. We also have Port Sarim fish delivery. I am not, as far as I'm aware, what's actually being delivered doesn't particularly matter. So I'm not going to require, like, the jewelry delivery and the fish delivery are the same thing, in my mind. I don't think it changes anything, so we're not going to have to do all of it, just to any cargo delivery. Oh, but yeah, this is an example of what I was just talking about, though. So these four are all take cargo from here to some other port, whereas this one is go to Catherby and bring cargo back here. I believe this one will also give more experience and more money than this one, though I could be wrong there, but that's kind of what it sounded like. Anyways, I'm actually going to, mostly just cuz, I'm gonna pick up both of those, and I believe just take cargo from here. Did they did add recently a take any cargo. So I can just switch my right click to that, or switch my left click to that. Oh. Huh. Ada. Huh. Huh. Sorry, that just really surprised me. Ada grabbed the other, presumably the other cargo, although hers doesn't really have, this has the Port Sarim thing on it. But yeah, huh. If I go here, yeah, okay. Neat. Did not know that was a thing. God, Ada's awesome. Anyways, let's get going to Port Sarim. Okay, we've made it to the chunk boundary. And so, this is chunk 12081. And we can unlock it. Now have this chunk unlocked. Let's explore it a bit. So Oh, hey, one of the blue things. Let's grab that real quick. Is this gonna go outside of... No? Oh, was able to get that one. Cool. And got an uncut sapphire. Yeah, I'm not seeing any charting locations. Just the port here. And yes, I can... Okay. That notice board, I was worried that notice board was over here, but that notice board is inside this chunk, which is great. So, I can disembark here. Oh. Yes. Wanna grab those. Does Ada automatically? She does! God, that's, Huh. Wait. Okay. That's funny. That's really funny. There's two Adas here. One following me, one waiting there. But let's, go turn these in. Deposit cargo. And she just vanished.
Holy disappearing act.
Okay, 71 coins per. Now, what do we have on these docks? We have seagulls. These are level 2 seagulls, which are... I don't need to kill them. I think the ones on the Pandemonium are level 3? Which is why I'm pointing out... Oh yeah, there's a level 3 seagull there, and a level 2... Okay. Huh. I don't think any of these crates have anything. We got Trader Stan here, which sells all the same things. I might as well buy the cannonballs. I'm getting a little low on those. But yeah, nothing really there. Nothing on this boat. These guys again, same shop. Charter ships. Not going to be including charter ships here. As far as like what chunks are unlockable. Just in case anyone was wondering that. Anyways, that's I think pretty much all of this chunk. I inspect this. Oh! Look at the port task board. What is this? Oh, Pygmy Kraken. Huh. That's a very weird bounty to have on here. At least according to the wiki, the closest Pygmy Kraken is like way over here somewhere. Nowhere near Port Sarim, and I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen that on the Pandemonium. Huh. Weird. Anyways, we need pick up these tasks. So, I think how these task boards work. There are 3 bounty tasks, and there's 5 cargo tasks. 4 of the cargo tasks are take cargo from here to somewhere else. One of them is go somewhere else, grab cargo from there, and bring it back here. Yeah. So if we grab our cargo there. Oh, yeah, now she's not here. But I guess if you get off the boat, they didn't do that correctly. I do want to double check in my captain's log though. Because looking at the port task board was a charting thing. Look at the port task board in Port Sarim. Inspect the salvaging station in Port Sarim. Well, the treacherous rock is over here. That thing is, I guess, that way. Salvaging station in Port Sarim. Do we have access to this? I'm guessing not, because I didn't see it here. Okay, no, that's the... Okay, yeah. Salvaging station is right there. So we do not have access to that. Wizard's Tower, the next chunk over. Okay, so I think that was the only charting task we had. But otherwise, let's head back. Okay, we have made it back. Grab one of these, disembark. We can deposit the cargo right here. And there's that. 71 coins each. Nothing crazy. Probably won't be doing that much. I say much because if we ever need to recycle the port tasks, that's probably our fastest way to do so. Otherwise, yeah, I think that is all of our just bringing the cargo back and forth. That was everything we needed to do. And so I think with that, that's it. Let's jump back into the chunk picker. So back again here. So having this one unlocked definitely unlocks this one and this one. I think I'm going to leave this out of it for the time being, though. Just because we're going to wait until we have 7 so that we can properly explore anything that might be here. Even if we roll this chunk now, there's not going to be anything in there that we can do. This is definitely just an ancillary chunk. Otherwise, yeah, we haven't really changed much. 6 will definitely be a massive grind. There's a whole host of different tasks we'll need to do there. 6 will also be the first time that we'll actually need to do the chunk picker tasks. And we will be relying on that for a lot of things. But I will need to be careful still, though, about what we do and don't need to do. Anyways, 7, a couple of charting things there. We wouldn't actually have access to the Wizard's Tower, so not a big deal. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. So let's roll another chunk, see if we can keep being lucky. Okay, Mud Skipper Point. That is an interesting one. So I know there are mogres here. We can't attack them because they require like 30-some Slayer. I otherwise don't really know what's around here. Probably some charting things. And so let's jump into the game, check it out. This is chunk 11824. Unlocked. So I did bring along cannonballs, just in case we can attack the mogres. I'm not expecting it again, because I think we need 32 Slayer for mogres, and I don't think the water ones are any different. So we'll double check it, of course, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. There are a ton of turns over here. Otherwise, I think the only things we really... What? Broken fishing log, forlorn boot. Oh, that's for... Okay. That's not really anything. Yeah, mogres over here. There's just a couple of... Are there a couple of? I expected there to be a charting thing. But I don't think we can attack the mogres. If we can, that'll be a bit of an issue. Well, not really a bit of an issue. That'll just be a kind of long grind, because they have a pretty big drop table we'll need to worry about. Are you going to attack me? No. Okay. So, let's see if I can attack you. Okay. You need a Slayer level of 32 to know how to wound this monster. Rowboat isn't anything. There's more seaweed over here. Interesting. Oh, no, that's a castaway, not a... Okay, I'll grab them, I guess. Oh. There was a... mermaid or something. Ooh, a dog. Neat. But let's see. There's... Okay, there's a sealed crate over here. Oh, whoa. That was unexpected. They actually blocked me. There's a crate. Can't do anything with that. Signpost. I think that's the Beware of Mogres thing. I really thought there were a couple of... Maybe it's further in or something? I don't know, I guess I can chart... Not really in this chunk, but I can do it from here. Might as well. I can chart a stone tablet southeast of Musa Point. Oh, that's 3 of 3 Mudskipper Sound charting completions. I want to... Fully charting the sea has unlocked the use of some rapids within it. What the hell does that mean? Mudskipper Sound. We should return to McAtlas and his cave. And see if he can tell us something about that. Were these here before? Is this... Also want to talk to this person. Either I was blind or those are new.
Yeah, I'm like 50-50.
Hello land dweller, hello sea dweller. What are you doing here? Sea's been getting quite busy all of a sudden, surfaced to see what the fuss was about and found that lots of you seem interested in diving down to the seafloor. I'm offering my services as a guide for a price. The price in this case is knowledge. Data about the depth of the sea to my chart. Can I dive down to the seafloor with you? Need to be wearing diving equipment to dive with me. So that's a little bit of an issue with being a OneChunk sailing account. In order to get diving equipment, we need 3 things. First of all, we need lumberage because we need to do recipe for disaster. I believe the only prereq for this is cook's assistant, which is also here, and shouldn't be too big of a deal. But in Recipe for Disaster, we need to do the Saving Pirate Pete subquest, which requires going all the way over to Port Khazard and talking with Murphy on the docks here about diving down into the seafloor. Which, honestly, that's not a tremendously far distance. Depending on how we get there, it could be a pretty straight shot. Of course, there's a lot of dangers on the way there, and we would have to get very lucky to go directly there. Same with Lumbridge. Lumbridge isn't too far away. But before we can do any of these diving things, we'll need to do that, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh well. We'll get there eventually. Now, to return to McAtlas, see if he can tell me about some of these things. Oh, okay, they are giving me a boost. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Oh. Tell me about these shortcuts. Likely start to notice rapid flowing waters where you hadn't before. Assuming you have a strong enough helm on your boat, sailing over them should give you a noticeable speed boost. Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's more or less exactly what I thought it was. Is that? No, okay. Can you offer me some training? Nope. Okay. And what about the drinks? I don't need to know about those. Okay, yeah. So doing that one charting thing, unlock those rapids, which can give me a speed boost, which is kind of neat. Awesome. I believe that is everything we could do in that chunk, though. We can't attack the Mogres. I didn't see any other charting locations, and there wasn't really much of anything else. So, once again, back to the chunk picker. We just unlocked this chunk, which gives us access to this one and this one. We're getting closer to that volcano, which is scary. Okay. Otherwise, 8 is Musa Point. 7, it didn't look like there was really anything there. I doubt we can go up the river. I doubt we can really navigate through here, though that would be kind of cool if we could. Yeah, let's go for it. Otherwise, I don't really think much else has changed. I'm hoping for... as far as big chunks go, I'm hoping for 5. I wouldn't mind getting like 4 and 6, and just to kind of fill out this area first. 7 and 8 scare me because that's heading towards the volcano. So I'd kind of like to avoid those, but we'll see. So, let's go for it. Where's that? Oh. That is okay. Oh, that's gonna be an annoying one to check out. That's going to be a nothing chunk because we can't do anything in there because that's in the middle of a storm. But we can still check it out. I will need to bring a bunch of extra repair kits though. So I'll grab those and meet you down there in game. Quick stopover at 40 Construction. Apparently, I was out of repair kits. I had like 12 of them, and so making some more. Really nice to just have thousands of swamp paste from the dolphins rather than needing to buy it. We can see the chunk right there. Have a bunch of repair kits on us. Cargo hold is full of repair kits as well. I'll grab the spyglass and that. I don't know if I'll be able to use the spyglass to chart anything if there are any charting locations, but I am going to do my best to just rush through this, to try to take as little damage as possible. May end up missing things, but again, I'm pretty sure, regardless, we can't do anything in here anyways. But still want to explore it, at least as best we can. So, wish me luck. This is chunk 12332 unlock. Okay. There we go. Okay, and yep, immediately taking... Damn it, why? Does Zeta just not do this?
Oh no, not under these conditions.
Oh, wonderful. There's nope, that's a Barracuda shipwreck. There's other ones over there. I don't think... If I try to salvage this... Yeah. Oh, well, nope. Okay. It says it's plundered. I go here. My ship's about to sink. I really don't want this to sink because it'll cost a whole lot of money to get it back. Something like 50k to get back. I'm not seeing any locations I can chart. Okay. Okay. We are out. What? Oh, nope. Okay, we're not out. Thought we were. Oh, that's awful. Okay. I did not really see anything there. We do have a couple of Barracuda salvages over there. And so... what that means is if we end up rolling both of these chunks, which will be a little while before we even have the possibility of doing that, we'll then have the Barracuda salvage grind, which includes the 91 fishing for marlins. Anyways, on to the next chunk roll. We just rolled this chunk, which means all three of those are now accessible. 9 I don't think will be too bad because there's non-stormy areas here, so we can just charge through and hang out outside of the storm. But I don't know if there's any sea creatures over here or something that might pose an issue.
That's what we call foreshadowing.
8 and 10. 8 we kind of just can't do anything with at all. I don't really know if there's like any charting or anything here, but won't be able to do anything with that without 10. And even if we roll 10, yeah, we won't be able to do much because I still don't think we can dock at this port. If we can, 10 would be awesome, but I don't think it'll let us, which is unfortunate. Anyways, let's roll another chunk. Let's hope we stay out of the stormy area for now. Oh, okay. Awesome. That's one of the ones I wanted. So that is the Wizard's Tower chunk. Yeah, I'm gonna complete any of these I can and backlog any of the ones I can, but yeah, we don't have access to really any of these because, once again, we don't have access to the Wizard's Tower. Only the water around the Wizard's Tower. But alright. Let's go check it out. This is chunk 12337 unlocked. Alright. So Wizard's Tower water. And only the water. I think there is a... Yep. Oh, we get one tile of land over there. That's funny. But there is this thing over here. Which means we can look through the spyglass and check out the Wizard's Tower. Awesome. It's 2 of 5 in Bay of Surin. I think there's one we can reach there. There's one over here, and yeah, I don't know where the other one is. We go over here. Can we squeeze past here? No, don't tell me I need to get that. Sucks. Oh, and there's a giant clam over there just to... Alright, I'll grab my skiff. We are back. Brought the skiff. Should hopefully be able to make it through here. Also, just in case, I brought my bottled raft. So that we can just dock at Port Sarim and grab the raft out of it. But it does look like we... Okay, yeah, we can get through here with the skiff. Oh, hey. I think that's a different one. But, I'll take it. Okay. That replaces the big pearl that I accidentally sold. Now we have once again completed the collection. Awesome. But yeah. This is the other side of the Wizard's Tower. We can chart, this thing on the wreck of the Grandiosennium. I feel like there's a pun there that I am missing. But I can't figure it out. Oh well. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. I feel like I'm going through these chunks so quick that I have to be missing something, but considering we don't have access to 90% of each of these chunks, it's not super surprising that there's nothing there. So I guess back into the chunk picker, and if I'm missing anything, you guys will have to let me know. Having the Wizard's Tower chunk unlocks this one, and this one. None of which are really of any consequence. 11 does have Swamp Tar in it, but we can't access it from on the water. 12 has a handful of things, but we can't access it from on the water. 10 is Tutorial Island. Let's see what our next chunk is. Okay. Finally a chunk with something. That is chunk number... Well, what was chunk number 3? I know this has Osprey in it, and so we can go and hunt down some Osprey. Let's jump back into the game, and I will talk about what Osprey have when we're over there. We have made it here, back in the Lunar Clam. So, chunk 12592 is unlocked. Wonderful. So there are these Osprey here. We already knew about that. These are basically turns, but a bit tougher. Is there anything else over here? Oh, there is a treacherous rock. Okay, oh, and there is that. Interesting. So, treacherous rock. Lumbridge Basin. Nope, didn't mean to do that. We can go over here. Take care of this real quick. I don't know what this is. Might be looking at the mine. Either that or Tutorial Island. Really the only two options. So, what is this? Oh, okay, yep. It is the mine. It's the swamp mine, I guess. Neat. Alright. That is... Oh! That is 3 of 3 in the Lumbridge Basin. Which means, yeah, there are now some rapids. But we have Osprey here. So, I thought ahead. And the last time I saw an Osprey bounty, I picked it up. This was from the Pandemonium. At the moment, there aren't any Osprey bounties, so I'm really happy I decided to pick this up a little while ago. I think it was when we were finishing our previous chunks. I grabbed one of these in anticipation that we were going to unlock this chunk, and I didn't want to be locked out of it. This guy wants new quills, so we need to grab 3 Osprey feathers. Osprey are higher level turns, basically. They drop roughly the same loot. A couple of things have better drop rates. However, where turns drop sapphires and sapphire rings, Osprey drop emeralds and emerald rings. Yeah, where turns drop salmon and tuna, Osprey drop tuna and lobsters. Now turns drop oak roots. Osprey drop willow roots. So that is the one thing we need from Osprey. Apart from, completing the bounty in the first place. So we are just going to kill a handful of these, hopefully get a willow root, probably just stay here, assuming we have enough repair kits and enough inventory, until we get a willow root. That's the first Osprey feather already. But probably just going to stay here, if we can, until we get both the willow roots and the bounty completed. And so that really shouldn't take too long. And unlike with the dolphins, I really mean that shouldn't take too long. The willow roots are only 1 in 25 drop. The Osprey feathers are 1 in 3 drop, and we need 3 of them. So it should be pretty easy. Oh, that's hilarious. We got all 3 Osprey feathers and the willow roots. That was our 3rd Osprey kill. God damn. That's hilarious. Okay, time to go turn this in, and then that's everything in this chunk. Claim rewards. Here's your payment. Finish the Pandemonium Osprey bounty. Awesome. Back into the chunk picker. We had just unlocked this one. This now allows us to unlock this one. This chunk. So yeah. Let's roll our next chunk and see if this luck just keeps on coming. Oh, okay. That is right next to the Pandemonium. Okay. I think there's a couple of charting spots here, and otherwise mostly just bull sharks, which we've already done everything from. So I don't really think we have anything in this chunk. It does, however, put us 1 away from this chunk. But yeah, let's go check it out. I'm going to do something that may seem a little weird. So I grabbed my boat bottle that had my raft in it, and I'm going to unbottle it. Bladed Crow raft. Follow your boat. If the bottle breaks in the process, as it does, you hear one final echoing voice. Remember me as I used to be. Oh, that... Okay. And get on the Bladed Crow. Have not been on this guy in quite some time. I have to navigate this one myself. But because I want to check something. There is this river here. I don't know how far up this river you can go. And I imagine you would need a raft if you can. So I want to give it a shot. See if you can do anything there. So 11822 is unlocked. Also, that right there is the one Barracuda salvage we would have access to in this chunk. But let's check out this chunk. So we had the Karamja shipyard here before. There's pre-made blurb special, blueberry special. We might be able to grab that with telekinetic grab if we had access to it. We are going to chart this though. And that is a Kandarin Sea charting completed. And so now we should see, we got some rapids all around here. Otherwise, I think that was probably that would have been the only charting location, because we just completed this area. So I don't think we need to look for any more. Otherwise, this is what I wanted to check. Is there anything else besides that? There's seaweed here we might be able to grab. Again, with telekinetic grab, which we don't have access to. And then this. This is a river. we cannot go any further. Even if we could get past this bend, there's a waterfall there. Mine rocks? What? Why are there rocks that you can mine in the waterfall? Huh, that's really interesting. That would have been a super cool thing, though. To have, like, to be able to navigate through this river. We're, like, up here. Let's jump back into the chunk picker for now the 7th time this episode. Back in the chunk picker. Once again, again, the 7th time in this episode. I just unlocked this chunk, which gives us access to chunk 12. Let's see, chunk 12 and chunk 2 are pretty extensive grinds. I think I'd rather have chunk 2 because we just did a whole cooking grind, but also having the Barracuda salvage would give us access to other stuff, so I don't know. So let's see what fate has in store for us this time. Okay. But yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much of anything here, but let's go. Let's get back in game and check it out. We can use these rapids now. Oh. I don't have a helm that can use these rapids. Well, that's annoying. We have made it to our chunks once again. Or to our new chunk once again. Chunk 12848 is unlocked. This is the chunk with the calcite layer, which would be a real big grind and probably awful to do, but of course we don't have access to it because we only have access to the water. But let's go and check this out. There's nothing really along this coast, but we can go through here. We can sneak on through here, and yeah, this is our chunk. We got a camel over there, desert wolf over there, and yeah, back to the chunk picker. We just unlocked this one, so we do now have access to this one and to that one. Okay, not much has changed. Let's just give it another roll. Oh, okay, Tempros. That is an interesting one. So we have this. Once we get here and can actually dock here, we'll have to do the whole Tempros grind now, which would be really interesting. As far as I'm aware, nothing this chunk gives us. And it looks like it frees up this one to be selected next. Because it's in the stormy area, I don't really want to go in there and just waste a bunch of repair kits for no reason, really. If we roll 5 or 13, we will, because there are non-stormy sections over here. But it doesn't look like we could actually get past the island, and these rocks, over to this chunk, so I'm not including that chunk. If we can, and I'm mistaken, let me know. I don't really think it'll affect much of anything, though. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to roll another chunk right away. Picking chunk number 9. Okay, that is here. So I'm guessing we can't really go down this river, but I'm already in the raft, so I'll give it a shot. I also don't think there's really anything here. We'll have to see. So let's head back into the game and check it out. So we can now unlock chunk 11568. Alright. So there's nothing here that I can see. This does mean, kind of funny enough, we can unlock this chunk now without having the port unlocked. And also unlock, it looks like over here. So I'm terrified of this volcano. It looks like we can unlock here and here. Based on that rock right there, if we unlock this area, it will not unlock. We won't be able to access here on water at all. We can, however, if we end up rolling this chunk, it will unlock this one though. And I kind of wonder if this lets you go all the way inland. Because that's kind of cool. Well, that would be kind of cool if it does. And this here looks like you can't go in. There's stuff blocking it. Yeah. You can't make it in here. But yeah. Jump back into the chunk picker and pick chunk number 10. Back in the chunk picker. This allows us to unlock here and here. And so, well, let's see if we can keep this going. Let's see if we can keep this going. Pick chunk. That's all the way down here, past Empros. This one we are gonna check out. I have no idea if there's anything down here, and this will allow us to get a little bit of a peek into some of these waters. But I will see you down there. So we've unlocked chunk 12331. Whew. So we're gonna have to make it all the way through the storm. And so I'm starting on this side because I'm gonna do a quick run by of Tempros to make sure there's nothing there, and then pretty much otherwise beeline it straight for safe ocean. Hopefully safe ocean. We'll have to see. Hopefully there's not any. I know some of the sea creatures, at least I've heard some of the sea creatures are aggressive. Hopefully there aren't any over there like that. But have a whole bunch of, unfortunately, just normal repair kits. If we're gonna have to be making a bunch of trips through here, I'm gonna have to do a lot more salvaging to get oak repair kits. Which'll kind of suck. On top of whatever we need to do down here. Anyways, enough faffing about. Let's do this. Oh, and I'm navigating because Ada just gives up upon getting in here, apparently. I use these. Looks like I can use those as boosts still. There's... I'm not seeing anything. Definitely can't get past over there. Might be able to get past there. Probably not, actually. Oh, what? Oh no.
Remember when I was foreshadowing?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh hey, hammerhead sharks. They're aggressive, aren't they? Yep. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is gonna be real rough, though. So we have access to Barracuda shipwrecks now. which was the whole thing I was concerned about with this chunk, and why I wanted to avoid it.
Well, be careful what you wish for.